Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back on their BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by Claudia Zamora. How are you doing, Claudia?
Good, good. How are you?
Great. You were supposed to fight Crystal Pittman out there in California. The fight fell through. Can you tell us what happened and then why we haven't seen you back yet?
Yes. So I was good to go. California is complicated. Their commission is not the easiest. I fought in California in 2022. So I went through the whole thing. They require a lot of medicals. I was able
Sure.
to get them all done. And there was just one of them that they didn't agree with the results, although the doctor cleared me. So it was just heartbreaking, to be honest, because I was done. I was completely done with fighting, with my MMA career. I was done, and then the fight popped up like a month out. So it wasn't too like short notice. It was a decent 1 month out, and so I was super excited. I got ready. I got so into it, and then for it to fall apart like the week of fight week, it was just heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
Sure. And BKFC approached you about fighting again? It was a kind of a turnoff that you didn't get a fight. Like, why haven't we seen you yet?
Well, yeah, I had okay, after that, that was in April.
Like April, yeah.
Right. So then after that, they had kind of told me maybe June because they had another card in Miami in June. Then June came around and that didn't happen. And then I think it was September. It was just, it just didn't materialize. I feel like I'm not the only one. I feel like all the girls are kind of waiting, or maybe everybody's waiting, but more the girls, because if you really look at it, they only have like one girl bout on each card. So all the girls are like starving, please put me in, I feel, and I get it because it's awesome. I still want to do it. I think that format also fits my style well, so I'm open to that.
It's interesting. I've talked to two other female BKFC fighters today. We just talked to Vincennes, and she was saying like, and we agree, like it would be great if they could feature more female. I mean, you get
Yes,
one to maybe two fights, and a lot of the time the women fights are some of the most entertaining. So I would love
exactly.
to see an all women's card, or at least every fight they should have a 125 and a 115 at least.
Yes, yes. I was just talking to my boyfriend about that the other day. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if they did like a card where it was just all women? Maybe the main event they could put like a guy bout, a good one, and then maybe all the girls. Just I feel like the girls really bring it. Maybe we have something to prove. I don't know, but we bring it. So that would be cool. That'd be nice.
You got to think like October's like the breast cancer awareness month. Like that'd be a great time to do an all female card, or like during one of the the all women month, like
Yes,
like showcase. And I
something
I
like
had never even thought about what you said. Like maybe you do like a really big headline main event. But yeah, absolutely,
that.
they need to showcase the women.
Yes, yes, yes. We're all waiting.
You got a chance recently to showcase your talents. Like, how did you get involved with dirty boxing?
Oh man, I saw the promo of it and I was like, "Oh my god." You know what? That's another thing I had talked to my boyfriend about maybe like a year ago. I had told him, I was like, "Wouldn't it be cool if bare knuckle allowed elbows?" I had told him this, like it would be so like if they want it to be dirty, like
Yeah.
add elbows because it would be so much more dirty. So then this came about. I saw the promo and it said to hit up the matchmaker, and I was like, I'm hitting up that matchmaker, and I did, and I was like, listen, I need to be on this card, and of course, it being in Miami, it just made all the sense, and um, you know, I feel like I just have a different mindset. Again, MMA was just different. I had different goals, different mindset, and it's kind of like I was reborn. Coming into let's say bare knuckle or dirty boxing, and my mindset is different and is to kill that and nothing less.
We've talked to other fighters that said they got bored of MMA. Like they were so bored of it and it got boring and it was fun in the beginning, but it definitely is not the same as it used to be in the beginning. Can you talk to us about like finally getting that passion rekindled and something, fighting in a new sport?
Yes, with MMA, the ultimate goal was to make it to the UFC. That was the goal. I just think that no matter how talented you are, you need a good manager. Management is everything. Sometimes you see it. People aren't even talented and they make it to the big show.
Sure.
So management is everything. I don't want to like shit on my ex manager, but he just he wasn't it. I just stuck around because I wanted to be loyal, and in the end, it cost me my career. Again, I take responsibility for anything that I didn't do in a fight, or maybe did do in a fight that may have cost me a win. But at the end of the day, the manager plays a huge role, and I feel like not just me, a lot of people that were under him wasted a lot of time, and it's just not fair because fighters careers are so short, so you have to make the most of it. And so yeah, I was done. My last MMA fight was May of 2023. I was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. I think that I just put a lot of pressure on myself as well. And it wasn't there. My last two MMA fights, I did them, but I was very disappointed. And I feel like that definitely played a role in the outcome. Again, I had 10 professional MMA fights and I was never finished. I was never knocked out. I was never submitted. I mean, I think that's definitely something to take note of. And I never took a lot of damage, to be quite honest. I'm older, so MMA, they're kind of looking for like the 25-year-olds, things of that nature. I still feel like I'm ready to go. Like I said, it's not like I've been fighting since I was 20. I started in my 30s. I'm 38 now, but I feel stronger every year that goes by, more skilled every year that goes by, more focused every year that goes by, and I feel like this is definitely my time. These formats that we have out here, like bare knuckle, like dirty boxing, are just awesome. If you have 2 minutes, 3 minutes given, you better go out there and just go. There's no dancing around and waiting to see what might. I'm not waiting. I'm putting the pressure, and I'm gonna hit you till I take you out. So that's the new mindset going in now, and I want to say that wasn't really my mindset in MMA. Maybe I thought it was, but it wasn't. I wasn't training like that. I always trained hard, but I feel like now it's different. Now I know that I have to train exactly how I want to perform on fight night. Like it has to be like that. And I made those adjustments in training, like in technique wise and conditioning wise, but also in the mental. That's super important. So I definitely want to say that this year was awesome in that sense, that I thought that I was done, and then that opportunity came up for the bare knuckle, and although it didn't happen, it just it made me continue to work hard, because I knew something else would come, whether it wasn't another offer in BKFC, or like now you see we did the dirty boxing. And just I was so happy because I knew that I could go out there and do what I said I was going to do.
How is Mike Perry as the owner manager type of guy? I mean, is he fun to work with? I mean, like, was he personable? Did he give you his phone number? Reach out to me. Let me know if you need anything. Tell us about working with Mike Perry.
He's he's awesome. I feel like I look up to him. I look up to him. I listened to a few of his a podcast that he was on, and I took some pages out of the things that he was saying for the mental aspect of it, because it's that all gas no brakes mentality. And so I really took that and applied it, and I told him that. And but he's super nice, super professional. I am so happy for him and his family. He has a wife now and his two kids. I've been following him for a while. I've been a fan of his. He's always very exciting to watch, to fight. And so just seeing his progress and seeing where he's at now, all that he's achieved in BKFC, and like I said, with his new family. And it's really nice to see, because I have a family of my own. And so I know how special that is, within our business and our personal. So he is great. I feel like he has a lot of potential as a promoter, and just excited to see where it continues to go.
So I was watching some of the dirty boxing on YouTube, and they featured you and your family a lot. Can you tell us about fighting? And your boyfriend being there and your kid being there. Can you tell us about that?
It's nothing new, because we've been doing it. Just now it was documented, so you can see it, and we can see it too. It's amazing, honestly. It's interesting to see how our children, because now I feel like it's more common. More people are fighting, more girls are fighting versus, let's say, 10 years ago. With social media, I feel like sometimes people are fighting because they want to be famous. Maybe not so much because they like fighting, but because they want to be famous or they want to be rich. So you just kind of like see more people stepping up and doing it. And so they have children. These children are growing up in these environments of their parents fighting. And I think that, yeah, I think that it teaches them a lot of lessons, good and bad. Puts them under stress, but I think stress is good. Um, but it's special. My daughter has seen more of it than my son. My son is older, so he hasn't been exposed like she was. Like she was in the gym with us till she was like 5, till she
Okay.
started school. She was in there every day. She saw the trainings. She saw the weight cuts. She traveled with us to certain fights, not maybe not the ones out of the country or out of state, but if we were fighting in Florida, she was there. So she's seen me win. She's seen me lose. I feel like it's important for her to see how we handle our wins and how we handle our losses. I think those are valuable lessons in her life, not just for fighting, but just in general. Um, Now with my boyfriend, it's awesome too because he supports me, he teaches me. I've learned so much from him. Again, we're able to support each other. He's retired now, but he did it all. He did MMA, he did bare knuckle, and I feel like we can be there for each other and truly understand how it feels to win and lose and be able to support each other because if you've never fought, you can kind of support someone, you can be there for it. But if you've experienced it yourself, I feel like that just makes it all that much better. But it's super stressful for him as he gets real nervous, really nervous. when
You talked about like people fighting to be famous and fighting to make money. Is it weird to you that back in the day everybody wanted to fight to be the toughest, and now you got social media people that are like, oh, I just want to fight for views? It's
eh,
so strange how the fighting has become.
it is, and I think it's dangerous because listen, what are my goals? My goals are, of course, I want to make money, I want to create opportunities, of course, but I don't care about being famous. It comes with the territory, but that's not what I'm looking for. I love combat sports. I love to train, I love to fight, I love to evolve, technically and mentally. And so I think it's just much different. It's much different. Back in the days, you didn't even get to pick your fights. Now,
Yeah,
you have picking their fights, and like I said, people that aren't even really talented getting opportunities. But you know what, it is what it is. That's how it the cookie crumbles. But it is much different, and I know that more so for my boyfriend too, because he was around for like the earlier days. So he tells me, he's like, it's crap. It's crap.
it is weird, and like you said, I mean, like you have people that they'll be approached. This is the matchup we want, and they'll say, no, I don't want that person. I want this person because they're going to do more views for me, or this person's a little bit easier fight, and it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like that's just a ticking time bomb. Like if you're choosing your fights and picking your fights, and let's say you get 4 or 5 easy fights, that hard fight's gonna come around, and you better be ready for that because it's gonna be a rude awakening when you've been fighting these guys that aren't good, that that you can beat, and then all of a sudden now you're really thrown into the real fire. And another thing is, if you want to do this because you want to be famous and you're going in there to fight and you don't even really like fighting, ooh, that's like, it's so personal. It's so like, imagine going in there and not wanting to do that. No,
Sure.
it doesn't.
And it is weird. You see those people that are clearly after the paycheck. They take one big shot to the face and they stay down. And that's why, like, when you do see these social media guys who fight, like the last BKFC out there in Spain, like they had that Ben versus Conor McGregor's. Like, those guys were each punching each other in the face and kept going. Like, I have mad support to those guys versus the guys who take one shot and they stay down.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, they realize this isn't for me. I don't want to do this, and then it is what it is. I guess maybe they didn't know, and then they found out. So.
What can you tell us about your current management, your current team? It seems like you're in a good space now.
Well, at the moment, I don't have a manager, so we're
Okay.
still without a manager, and that's okay. I feel like I can just focus on my performance. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on my performance, going out there and killing it every single time until I'm undeniable. And if someone wants to manage me and I feel like they're the right manager, like they have connections, they have they have results. You got to look at that when you're going to work with a manager. What results have they created? You know, who are they managing? That's important. So
Sure.
that you don't time. But ultimately, like I said, I'm just gonna focus on my performance, and we'll see, you know, what comes from there. Team wise, my team, Freedom Fighters MMA, main coach is Manuel Lopez. He's awesome. He's from the old school Cuban coach, and he's like a father to me. We've been through it all, and I wouldn't trade my gym for any other gym. That's for sure.
Again, I was just talking to Vincenz, and she was born in the States, but she's Cuban. And we were talking about how Cuba's kind of taken over combat sports. You got Yoel Romero, looks fantastic. In BKFC, you got Blas and Zombo and Brian Duran. Just a whole bunch of Cubans are taking over. And she
Yeah.
said that you guys are, you know, the Cubans were, you know, raised fighting for everything. Do you attribute that too?
Well, we're not Cuban. I'm not Cuban.
Oh, okay.
I was born and raised in Miami.
Okay.
My parents are from El Salvador, but
Okay.
I was born and raised in Miami. I've been around Cubans my whole life since day one, and my step grandfather was also Cuban, so it just I've been raised around it, and so I love the culture. I really love the culture, and yes, they're definitely on the rise within combat sports. I feel like they're hungry. I feel like they're definitely hungry. They come from a place where it's tough, you know. Things in Cuba are tough, and so I feel like they're definitely trying to create opportunities for themselves as well.
I feel like it's great to have people who are Spanish speaking who also do fantastic. I mean, it opens up to so many more venues, you know, like because a lot of the world speaks Spanish, and I feel like it gives up somebody like you who's able to you know communicate in both languages and you know speak and represent multiple cultures. It gives you guys such a great platform that I think that's great that you're getting in like dirty boxing at the ground floor and BKFC at the ground floor.
Yes, 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 definitely. I feel like it's more versatile. You know, you can speak many languages. So, yeah, definitely.
I would love to interview Zombo down there, but like he's like, oh, my English is so bad, and I'm like, well, you know, my Spanish is terrible. Your English, you know, it'll be awful. You at one point you used to be known as the Phoenix. Now you're not going with a nickname. You kind of want to rebrand yourself. Has anything sort of stuck yet, or you're still like in the initial phases and nothing's been around yet that'll stick?
Right. Phoenix. That was my boyfriend was actually the one that gave me that nickname, and I feel like it definitely went with me, not just within fighting but just in life, going through ups and downs but always getting back up, always rising from the ashes, and that's definitely me, that's for sure. But yes, going forward into this new, like I said, era, I kind of wanted to leave that behind with the MMA. I don't mind. It could still, you know, they said it. They said it in this in the dirty boxing. They're like the Phoenix, and you know, I don't mind.
Sure.
But going forward, yeah, I wanted to see if maybe another nickname could materialize, given my performance, right? Like maybe the fans, or I don't know, maybe something sticks. Like I said, the commentator called me a bulldozer or bull, you know, something like that. I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a part of my performance, but you know, something like that. We'll see what comes about.
How great was it that you officially have a record that'll be around for forever? You have the first TKO in dirty boxing.
Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. I loved it. I love being the only girl bout on the first show. It was just awesome. The whole vibe was awesome. The whole look of the show. I know that that was a big thing. That is a big thing for them. Like the aesthetic of the show. It looked like a movie. You know, a lot of people were even like in the comments are like, "Oh, it looks fake. Oh, this is fake. This is a knockoff." I think it, because since it looked like a movie, they were saying that, but it was anything from fake, that's for sure. It just, I love it. I love the elbows. Listen, it's something that I've been working on with my boyfriend since I started training with him, since I met him. This was like 10 years ago. He's always been into like the Muay Thai, so even we've been practicing this, and I was able to incorporate them in MMA, but it's just different. You know, in MMA, you have like the takedowns. You just have so many more moving parts that sometimes you maybe forget them, and they're deadly. You know, we think about, we say this all the time. Like, if people used more elbows, you can end the fight. You can get a knockout. You could cut the person, they're just very, very, very like lethal. And so I'm just so excited to display all my technique, and I have so much more to show. I only fought like, I think it was what, a minute and 52 seconds that the fight lasted, so I didn't even get to really show all the technique that I have. I swear I was just warming up. In the video you hear the coach telling the girl, "Oh, she's getting tired. She's getting tired." I'm like, I'm just warming up. Like, listen, I'm the type that you'll see me like huffing and puffing, and oh, she's tired. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna keep coming, and I'm gonna keep throwing. And so I feel like I'm like a Drickus,
Sure.
Duplessis. It's just, it's not pretty, but it's effective, and you can never count them out. Oh, he looks tired. Oh, boom, he gets a knockout. Boom, he gets a submission. I don't care about being technical. I don't care about footwork. This isn't boxing. This is dirty boxing. It's different. Boxing, it's another thing that I did. I dabbled in September. I did a boxing fight. It's I'm not a boxer, and I went up against a girl that was a legit, it was her pro debut, but nonetheless, this girl, high caliber boxer, and it's just too many rules. You can't clinch, you can't do this, you could hide behind the big gloves. It's just, it's not, this is more my thing. Whether it's bare knuckle or dirty boxing, those are, I will thrive 100%.
I'm one of those people. I don't see dirty boxing being a competition against. I mean, like they're two separate things. I would
Yes,
love Mike Perry is the face of bare knuckle. I would love to see a little bit of crossover. I would love to see you fight there and then come fight somebody in BKFC and then fight back over there. And once dirty boxing has some champions, maybe a champ versus champ, and they fight one over there with gloves and one over. I feel like there's so much they can do, and Mike Perry being the face, and he's fantastic. I feel like the sky's the limit.
I agree. I totally agree. It, I feel like some people are kind of feeling like it's a competition, and I get it. It's something new. Everybody wants to be the most savage one, most savage promotion, but I don't think that it's, like I said, it's two different things. Two different things. So, and I would definitely be down for a cross promotion. I think that would be cool. And just like for us, like to see how boxers coming in will deal with the clinch and with the elbows, same as like BKFC. It's the same thing. You want to see how these boxers are going to come in and deal with the bare knuckle, and can't hide behind the big gloves. It's different, and so I think that nobody should feel intimidated. I feel like both sports are their own, and both are savage. And yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool to do a cross promotion. That would be nice.
Well, I talked to Icebag. He said that the next fight will be televised, so at least we'll be able to watch it. I can't wait to watch you do it again. I really hope they get you over in BKFC though. Like I said, you and I kind of became friends a little bit, and I would love to see you fight there and fight there. And I watched you fight that boxing fight. Like I'm a fan of people. I'll watch a person, no matter what they compete in. You've always been nice to me, so I'm happy to support you and watch you.
Oh, thank you. You are too. I love what you're doing. You're so awesome, giving the fighters a platform and just getting all the information out there, so that we know what's going on. It's nice.
Is there any sponsors or anything you'd like to give a shout out to before we call it a night?
90210 Vanity is my one of my sponsors. They're out in LA. Lions Fuel along with them. They've been great. So other than that, it's just my team, Freedom Fighters MMA. That's about it.
My last question I like to ask people the very first time we talk. Do you remember the first time that you got in like a fight? The first like time you punched somebody out of anger, like in elementary school or whatever? I've talked to plenty of people who've never been in one, but you look like you've probably been in a fist fight
Oh,
before.
definitely. Yes. It started early on. I would say like, I don't know, I think it was like second or third grade. Some kid straight up punched me in the stomach. It was but I didn't care. I fought back. I fought back. There was another instant where some kid was making fun of my bike, saying like that it was a hand me down. And it was, and I was like, yeah, and what, and so I got off the bike and we fought. And these are fights with boys. It's just, I've always been feisty. I've always been feisty. I don't want to say I've always stood up for the underdog, because I kind of like people to kind of stand up for themselves. But I did have my like middle school, high school best friend, and she was very timid. And I remember that they were bullying her. I remember some kid was like, "Isn't that your friend over there?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I went over there. This time it was a group of girls, and threw it down, without a doubt. I always stand up for my friends, definitely. But yeah, I've always been I've gone into a few fights.
Awesome. Well, good luck in your next fight. Like I said, can't wait to see you wherever it's going to be. I'll support you and watch. And thanks so much for taking time out with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
See you. Bye.
Okay.